Good evening. You're watching the English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The State Council approves the trademark draft law of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. An international workshop discusses in Muscat support of the National Innovation Strategy and preservation of the intellectual property. And the tender board awards a host of development projects worth more than 29 million Omani riyals. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, on the death of His Royal Highness Prince Nasser bin Sultan bin Nasser bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency President Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma of Republic of Sierra Leone on his country's independence anniversary. His Majesty the Sultan has also sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency President Dr. Jacob Zuma of the Republic of South Africa on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan has sent a similar cable to His Excellency President Farid Gnassingbe of the Republic of Togo on his country's National Day. And His Majesty sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty King William Alexander of the Netherlands on his birthday. The State Council approved the trademark draft law of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries forwarded from the Council of Ministers. The issuance of this law will work to develop the registration of trademarks and punish those who breach the law and commit violations with regard to this issue. The State Council also discussed and approved during the meeting today the draft law on organizing and protecting the Falages sites included at the World List of World Heritage. Earlier, the UNESCO included 5 Falages in the list, namely Daris in the Wilayat of Nizwa, Al-Khatmin in the Niyaba of Barakat al-Moz, Al-Malki in the Wilayat of Iski, Al-Miyasar in the Wilayat of Rustaq, and Al-Ghayla in the Wilayat of Sor. In cooperation with the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, the Sultans launched a workshop on the intellectual property education and training. The event was presided over by Her Excellency Dr. Rawia bint Saud Al-Wusaidiyya, Minister of Higher Education. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi.
Coming up with a clear roadmap, accompanied by a measurable action plan according to international performance indicators, in order to enable the intellectual property as a pillar in the national innovation system, were the main objectives behind holding the workshop on intellectual property education and training in the Sultanate.
The workshop aims to produce a training plan that is supported by the WIPO Academy for improving the education on intellectual property at the different levels of education, general education and higher education, as well as on the community as a whole.
The 2-day workshop is organized in cooperation with the World Intellectual Property Organization WIPO and the WIPO Academy. The event is attended by WIPO experts and local experts in IP from the educational, academic, technical, judicial and private sectors, in addition to several stakeholders who benefit from and support the intellectual property rights.
WIPO has a long-standing cooperation with the Sultanate of Oman that goes back to more than 25 years. We started in different areas. These areas mainly dealt with the revision of the legislations, the modernization of the institutions, and the most important part of that cooperation was obviously in the area of capacity building.
The papers and presentations in the workshop will focus on the role of IP in the national innovation system and the role of education curricula and training on IP in all related sectors. It will also shed light on the importance of professional development of human capital in IP, whether at the earlier levels of education, higher education, or technical education.
My paper actually focused on the importance of having intellectual property policy in the universities and higher education institutions because universities is the actually generator of knowledge, and it's actually the dynamic that lead into the knowledge economy.
On the sideline of the event, the awards for the 5 winners of WIPO competition on tourism and respect for IP were distributed. It is worth mentioning that every April 26th, the World Intellectual Property Day is celebrated across the globe to learn about the role that intellectual property rights play in encouraging innovation and creativity. This workshop will assist in boosting the knowledge and understanding of intellectual property, which will allow to encourage innovation for better lives. صالح بن خلفان الرحبي, مسقط.
To elaborate more on this topic, joining us in the studio here is Engineer Majda bin Saeed Al-Hinai from the Innovation of Entrepreneurship Department of Sultan Qaboos University. Welcome, Majda.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay. Could you please tell us about the Sultan Qaboos University experience in implementing the intellectual property?
Actually, Sultan Qaboos University this year had achieved one of the goals that been worked for a long time. It's established the IP policy, which considers as the first IP policy in higher education institute. And this IP policy is going to actually it's managing or covering how the innovation can be protected and transferred to the society. Plus to that, we have in SQU we have a teaching or implementing the IP in teaching through the IP module in College of Law, plus the other modules which focusing on lighting the IP like entrepreneurship and innovation. Plus to that, today we had like, there's a paper had been presented in today's event, which is covering or focusing on the skills required to develop the IP professional and IP teaching. And that scope up, or let me say meet the theme of the IP, the theme of today's event, which is dedicated for implementing the IP in education and training.
Okay. So the theme is?
The theme it's about the education, the IP in education and training system in Oman. And we had selected this theme based on the gap that we had found it on the society.
Okay.
The gap it's between the innovation that a lot of students and researchers has come up with it and the society, where this innovation actually not reach or it's not transferred to the society. And the first step to transfer all this knowledge, you need to protect it through the IP law. So we found that it's better to focus it's necessary to focus on the IP, separating the IP culture among the society, especially among the target audience who are actually the students and the researchers, actually who are generating this knowledge.
Okay, and then there's a future of tourists.
Yeah, for what we hope from this event or from this workshop, actually, to come up with a roadmap to implement the IP in education and training in all levels of the education system in Oman.
Okay, interesting.
And separate the IP culture among the society and respecting the IPs.
Interesting. Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you for this opportunity, actually.
Okay, you're most welcome. Thank you. That was Engineer Majda Al-Hinai from Sultan Qaboos University. The Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources stressed on the keenness to follow up the application of systems of regulations regarding the nutrition aspects and the role played by water and food laboratories and centers to examine samples and ensure they are safe for consumption. The ministry continues to intensify implement inspection campaigns to monitor the food establishments and the activities. Through these steps, The ministry was able to destroy quantities of expired goods and took proper legal procedures towards them. Reassignment of the remaining works of the water supply project of Niyabat al-Jabal Akhdar in the Wilayat of Nizwa in the Governorate of Dakhliya is one of the most prominent developmental projects awarded by the tender board, worth more than 29 million Omani Riyals. The board also awarded a tender for the automated system of the added value tax for the Ministry of Finance and for the additional works of operation and maintenance project of assets of the Public Authority for Electricity and Water in the Governorate of Al-Lahira. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Al-Saf Al-Huraybi, Chairman of the Tender Board. Still to come on News Bulletin. Activities of the Arab Festival for Radio and Television kicked off in the Tunisian city of Hammamat. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Means of supporting the existing cooperation fields between the Sultanate and Tunisia were the main aspect of the 15th round of the joint Omani-Tunisian Committee. The meeting stressed on boosting the bilateral relations in all educational, economic and cultural domains, in addition to means of upgrading horizons of cooperation between the two countries in various aspects of mutual concern. The meeting was presided over from the Omani side by Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed Al-Shibaniya, Minister of Education, whereas the Tunisian side by His Excellency Naji Jalul, Minister of Education. Her Excellency Dr. Madiha Al-Shibaniya, Minister of Education, said that memorandum of understanding which will be signed during this round will include renewing of the MOU with the Ministry of Education, in addition to the MOU in the field of small and medium enterprises and the executive plan of MOU with the heritage sector. She added that undoubtedly the goal of holding such rounds is enhancement of bilateral relations in several aspects. In order to encourage students to memorize the Holy Quran, the conclusion ceremony of Holy Quran memorization competition was organized at the Scientific College in the Governorate of Muscat. The contest was organized by the Directorate General of Private Schools at the Ministry of Education. Students from the private schools from various governorates of the Sultanate took part in the event. The competition aimed to instill on students the importance of Holy Quran memorization from early age. The conclusion ceremony included a speech by the Director General of Private Schools and operetta, skit and examples of Holy Quran recitations performed by some participating students. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, launched National Accreditation and Standard Development meeting at Al-Wahba Club. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Arubay.
The inauguration of the first consultation meeting on developing a national healthcare accreditation organized by the Ministry of Health, represented by the Directorate General of Quality Assurance Center, was held today. The meeting has been attended by over 150 of Ministry of Health top officials, as well as a number of experts in this field from the Sultanate and abroad. His Excellency, Minister of Health, affirmed that it is necessary to have a national healthcare accreditation system in the Sultanate. Besides, the continuous advance in the services provided. Therefore, the Sultanate, represented by the Minister of Health, is seeking to establish a national accreditation system that complies with the international standards and requirements and meets the needs of the coming phase of the Minister of Health's ninth five-year plan of Ministry of Health 2016-2020. The Advanced Accreditation and Standards Development meeting aimed at highlighting features of high-performing accreditation program and providing insight and guidance for evidence-based practices in standards development in healthcare. The meeting also provide an ongoing mentorship and partnership in the development of national accreditation system. Accreditation is a process that demonstrates a healthy facility compliance with the development standards established by a recognized accreditation organization. The accreditation program intends at developing service provision systems to enhance the quality of healthcare services and accordingly improving the intended outcomes of the treatment. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The National Records and Archives Authority organized a ceremony to honor the owners of the private documents. It came within the authority's keenness towards the significance of preserving Omani documents. It also aims to, by collecting these old documents, to make a great historical and cultural source for the country. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Omar Al Marhoon, Minister of Civil Service. Activities of the Arab Festival for Radio and Television in the 18th round kicked off in the Tunisian city of Hammamat. During the opening ceremony of the festival, Wajah program produced by the Public Authority for Radio and Television obtained the first prize of the level of competitions of TV programs 2016. The radio program titled Sha'ir al-Rasul, a poet of the Prophet, also obtained the second prize on the level of radio programs competitions. On the occasion of the festival, late actor Salim Bahwan was honored in appreciation for his artistic march. The Sultanate obtained 6 prizes in the Arab Oscar for tourist media in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. The Arab Center for Tourist Media chose His Excellency Abdulaziz bin Mohammed Al Rawas, advisor to His Majesty the Sultan for Cultural Affairs, as the Person of the Year in the Arab Heritage. Meanwhile, Mehdi bin Mohammed Al Abdwani, CEO of National Ferries Company, won Best Arab Tourism Personality Award. The Sultanate of Oman Radio also achieved the prizes of the Best Specialized Program for the Arab Tourism and the Best Arab Airline Supporting Tourism Award won by Oman Air. The Omani photographer Omar bin Abdullah Ashaili won Best Photography Award, and the Hadath newspaper won the Center's Prize for Electronic Media. Members of the Municipal Council of the Governorate of Al-Lahira discussed a number of service topics in the Governorate's wilayas. These topics included the water situation and a proposal to establish Omani traditional souk. The council also dealt with the proposal to amend planning conditions for commercial and industrial lands. The council also reviewed the Water Wealth Protection Law and Villages and Wells Organization regulations. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Saif bin Hamir Al-Malik Al-Shihi, Governor of Al-Lahira. Now for the general forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of clouds accumulation on the Hajar Mountains. Low clouds and fog expected over the governorates of South Sharqiya and Wusta, and winds will be westerly to northwesterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight to the maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The State Council approves the trademark draft law of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. An international workshop discusses in Muscat support of the National Innovation Strategy and preservation of the intellectual property. And the Tender Board awards a host of development projects worth more than 29 million Oman Riyals. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for watching. Good night.